All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Bracha HaKodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, pushing his word in truth and in sincerity, and also to the believers that are believing in truth and in sincerity. To you, I say shalom. Um, this is the brother Yeshaya coming at you again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. And in this lesson, which I'm going to entitle it, There is More at Work on Earth Than the Evil You See. All right. And I was thinking about this earlier. I was watching a movie. It was Lord of the Rings, I think. Yeah, Lord of the Rings. I think it was Two Towers. So I forget which one it was. But I was watching it earlier and I was thinking, I just saw a little snippet passing by. Um, but there was a scene where one of the characters tells the other character, you know, how pretty much I think it was the character Frodo was complaining about he wishes that you know a certain burden wasn't for him, and um, was talking about the evil that's going on in the movie. Um, and one of the other characters pretty much told him it was like pretty much there's more um, there's more that's going on or there's more at work. Uh, it was similar to how I entitled it, but it was a little bit different. I can't remember it now, but pretty much it was saying there was more at work than the evil that you see going on, right? Um, and that pretty much triggered a thought in my mind because I was like, I thought that was spiritual because, um, yeah, we see all the evil that Esau is doing. We're seeing it build up. We're seeing, you know, Esau getting all this, or getting his beast system, you know, um, getting ready to, go online. We're seeing them setting up legislation. We're seeing, the prophecies, coming or building up, I should say, right, where he's gonna come down with a great wrath. He's gonna, you know, uh, uh, really start persecuting, those that fear the Lord. And even though we understand that, I understand that we're prophets. We prophesy these things. Scriptures go into how, the prophets before then and before the of old prophesied both against many countries of war, evil, and pestilence. So this is the main things that we talk about, right? And of course, it's prophecy. You know what I'm saying? We're here to chant down Babylon. We're here to, what I'm saying, prophesy against the evil that we see and speak out against the evil that we see. Um, but one of the things also is the fact that, you know, and this is not for, this is for the believers out there. It's not just evil that we see happening. We see also good. We see the Lord at work. We see the Lord, as I'm going to go into this lesson, how even though Jake is down and out right now, Jake is kind of, in a state of um, being set up, about to be set up by Esau, right? I mean, when I say, Jake, I mean two-thirds, right? Um, but within that, we see that the elect is getting built up, right? The tabernacle of David is being raised. The Most High is about to raise up a standard, right, on the earth through these men, through the elect, right? But first, before I continue on, I want to start off with this. Jeremiah 8:20. It says, "The harvest is past, the summer is ended, and we are not saved." See, so we're still in captivity, man. We're still here, right? And many Jakes, in the world, even though they might think they're free, You know, they hear us and they'll say, uh, or they speak about the things that we're saying. We talk about the kingdom of heaven. They're like, well, when's that gonna happen? You know, we've been here for years. You know, we've been here for so long that what I'm saying, even Jake starts to feel like this is the kingdom of heaven. It's like that's how long Jake's been in America, man. Been in Babylon the Great, this wicked ass society, to where they feel like this place is heaven. This place, it can't get no better than this. That's pretty much in their mind. But um, for us, that in this truth, yeah, we go through, you know, our daily grind, our daily, having to go to work and deal with all the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Esau does wear us down. The scriptures go into how they shall wear at the saints, and they are wearing us down, physically, but in the spirit, the Lord is, doing something in the spirit to where He's in increasing us and really preparing us for what He's about to show on the planet Earth, man. Like I said, a new standard. You know what I'm saying? Um, but let's get from here. Let's get this Psalms 37. We'll start at the top. It says, "Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity." Right. So pretty much, um, uh, you see the evil before you. You see, people getting off with scamming people, or doing wicked ass shit. You know what I'm saying? The wickedness is going on around. You know what I'm saying? That your friends, or family members, or not even friends, just people you see in the world. You know what I'm saying? Getting off in with different crimes, and doing malicious acts, and they don't get judged, right? And then it makes you question, like, man, when the hell are they gonna get their, you know, get theirs? You know what I'm saying? When are they gonna get theirs, right? When are they gonna get, or when is the Lord gonna bring justice on them? Like, so much so, because you're over here, trying to keep the Sabbath. You're over here trying to do what's right, and nothing's going well for you, or nothing is like going as you planned. And that's not to say that the ways of the Lord is not beneficial, because it is. It keeps you from evil. It keeps you from uh, um, being set up, and having your sins tally up, because most of these people are being reserved for fire, for destruction, right? So that's something you got to keep in mind as well, right? That the ultimate end of these people will be death. So you don't want to partake in what they got going on, or be envious of their profiting, right? But it says, verse 2, "For they shall soon be cut down like the grass, and wither as the green herb. Trust in the Lord," right? So they're going to soon be cut down, right? They're going to soon be as the grass, right? And the Most High is the lawnmower, or going to be pushing the lawnmower. Verse 3, it says, "Trust in the Lord and do good. So shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed." You see? And best believe we are going, our trust in the Lord was going to be rewarded, man. Our Us doing good in the sight of the Lord will be rewarded, right? Because it says, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed, right? Because in this time that we're coming in, the dark times, these scarce, these days where it's gonna be scarce, or I should say, I should put it like this: in a time where um, there's gonna be a scarcity of waters, a scarcity of food, right? A scarcity of goods, a scarcity of peace, right? Shit, even people, trying to drink away their problems, that ain't gonna be able to work, right? So all these people, operating in wickedness, they're gonna soon uh, 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 be put to shame for all their pride, all um, their mocking, their mockery, them scoffing, you know what I'm saying, them, whatever it is that they do, you know what I'm saying, as long as it's contrary to the Lord, best believe the Most High is gonna, put an end to that. But anyway, let's go to, let's get this, just tie this into that, right? Proverbs 3, and we're gonna go down to 31. It says, "Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways." Right? Choose none of his ways. "The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just." Right? So the point that I'm getting out of all this is the fact that you gotta separate yourself from this world. You gotta separate yourself from the works and the people of this place. Right? That's not to say you don't, you shouldn't care about your family or your friends, right? But understand that there's a certain path that you got to go that they can't go, right? So you're gonna have to pretty much, they have separate interests in mind. The scriptures talk about how can two walk together lest they be agreed, right? So in this walk, it's gonna be a more lonely walk. I mean, not that you're alone; you have brothers, right? But people of this world, they're just um, like the brother. I forgot the name of that brother. Um, there was a brother that I watched pretty much talking about how the people in this world are like agents, or like in the movie The Matrix, right? The people are not ready to be unplugged. So Agent Smith can easily, enter into them, meaning Satan can easily enter into them. And then you teach them about this truth, you talk to them about this, and then they'll buck up against the truth so much so that they'll even blaspheme the Lord, right? But again, the point being is you gotta separate yourself from this place, right? Because evil is coming. You don't want to be, you know, you don't want to partake of the evil that these people are about to face because you are too tied into what they got going on, right? You're aligning yourself with the world, right? Because what the Lord is doing, he's making a division amongst those that are in the world and those that are not, right? Because this is why I said there is more. This is why I'm entitled, "There is more at work on earth than the evil that you see," right? Even though we see this evil, and the people behaving in this manner, the Most High is making a line of distinction between those who serve the Lord and those who don't. And there's going to be a different fate between those who serve the Lord and those who don't, right? And right now, what we're seeing is that the evil is being prepared for the wicked of our nation, right? And then you have the good that is being prepared, right? The building up of the tabernacle of David, the truth coming back, being restored, with the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, you know what I'm saying? The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All this is to prepare a few amount of men, the elect, right, and the elect women and children, for them to be able to be preserved in this time of trouble, right? But so let me see. Let's get this real quick. Isaiah 45 and verse 7, right? "I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord Yahweh, do all these things." So the Most High does all this, man. Light, dark, peace, evil, right? He creates all that. So knowing this, you know what I'm saying, you got to understand that everything that the Lord is doing has a purpose. So if you see the evil growing, and the Most High operates in balance. So if the evil is growing and they're getting all this power, and it looks like they're being unbeatable, what's going on in secret, what people don't really see, is how the Lord is about to prepare to show a spectacle unto the world through these men, through the elect, right? Let's get this. Let's get um Uh, bear with me. Oh yeah, let's get Isaiah 44 and 1. Not 4, Isaiah 44. Isaiah 44 and 1, it says, Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus saith the Lord that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou Jeshurun, whom I have chosen. For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground, and pour my spirit upon thy seed, and my blessing upon thy offspring. Right? So it says, For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground. What does this mean? It's talking about the truth being poured upon us, man. The Most High giving us back the access of this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? Because at one point, I would say this, you can tie this up with Ezekiel 37, right? The valley of the dry bones, right? Because at one point we were, in the dry state, in a dead state. But now, since we got this truth, now we're back alive again. Now we got water in us. You know what I'm saying? Now we ain't thirsty no more, right? We're being satisfied by this word. But verse 4, it says, And they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by the water courses. So spring up, it says, as grass and as willows by the water courses, right? And that's and that's all the camps that you see, right? Jake is waking up. The tabernacle and the house of David is all being built up, man. Verse 5, it says, One shall say, I am the Lord's, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob. And this is something that our enemies feared the most, right? Us coming back and knowing that we're Israelites. But let me finish this out. And another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Lord and surname himself by the name of Israel, right? Because when you go into Revelation 11, I believe it's 10. Oh, I didn't go to it. Revelation 11 and 10. Oh, verse 11. Revelation 11 and 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High, right? 3 days and a half is going into a 350-year period, the time where Jake fell off, or Jake was taken into captivity, right? And until the time of Abba Bivens, uh, prophesying uh, on the streets, right? But it says, um, after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. So everybody that sees us, they'll see us, but they won't think, nothing much. People will see us like, oh, these guys, you know, out here, wearing these long cloaks or whatever, and thinking that they know the Bible, all this and that, right? Pretty much they view us as being insignificant, your average person. But the elite, they understand that this is a spiritual thing going on, right? And the fact that we are coming back, they understand the power, of the Lord. This is why they have so much fear, seeing men just out here with Bibles in their hands speaking against them, speaking prophecy. This is terrifying unto the enemy. Again, like I said, they understand the power. Your average Edomite, your average, heathen, they don't understand shit, right? They're low level, right? The scriptures go into how um those that are spiritually discerned, right? A lot of this stuff that we're talking about is foolishness unto them, right? That's why I'm tired of this. There is more at work on earth than the evil you see before you, right? There's more at work, man. There's more that's going on. The angels are working, man. The Lord is working. Everything is being built up to this grand, what they call it, a crescendo or great climax, right? And best believe the right hand is a lot more powerful than the left. Yeah, the left is getting built. The left looks strong. It looks, it looks mighty. Just wait until that right hand comes out, though. You know what I'm saying? But let's get this. What was I gonna get? I think it was Amos, right? Trying to find it. Oh, I was on Isaiah 44. But let's get this. Amos 9, right? Amos 9 and verse 11. It says, "In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom, and all of the heathen which are called by my name, uh which are called by my name, saith the Lord Yahweh, that does this, that doeth this." Right? So the tabernacle of David is being built up. That's what's happening. That's that great work that's happening on the earth that people aren't seeing. We see it, right? But the people, your people, these people ain't seeing it. Even Jake ain't seeing it, man. They don't see this as being a great work that the Lord is doing. They just see this as a trend. They see it as a a fad. You know what I'm saying? But all fads fade. But this won't, right? The scriptures go into that if it be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of the Most High, you cannot overthrow it. And this anybody that bucks up against this truth, they always go away disappointed because they know that they lost. There's nothing that they can do or say to dissuade us. There's nothing you can gainsay against the truth. And at the end of the day, as the scripture says, um, the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment. So if they feel like they won, they they can keep it. Because at the end of the day, the scriptures say that this world is for many, but the world to come is for few. Right? They can have the little victory on this side. It don't mean nothing. It's gonna be short lived. While we're gonna be laughing in the kingdom of heaven, pouring up, partying up, living it up, right? So who truly is the winner at the end? You know? But this is why I started off, how I did in Proverbs, right? 3 and Psalms 37, because, you see the people, how joyful they are, and uh how much disregard they have for the Lord, and the fact that they're still prospering and still living it up and still, you know what I'm saying? It looks like, it might seem like their prospering is never going to end, but best believe that's going to quickly come to a halt. The fact that the tabernacle of David is getting raised, best believe a righteous um, transition is about to happen, or a transition, a change in the order of things is about to happen, man. Where righteousness is going to be in and wickedness is going to be out. Anybody that practices wickedness and profits off of it, that's gonna be non-existent in the kingdom of heaven, right? And this is what the Lord's preparing to do, right? To eliminate all form of wickedness. Um, and let's get this. Let's get 2 Peter 3, because like I said, this is what the Lord is preparing to do. 2 Peter 3 and 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, right? Why is that? Because not a lot of people are watching. The Most High is going to catch everybody with their pants down or asleep. But it says, "In the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up." So the works, everything is gonna melt, you know. And just speaking on the works, them doing what they do, all the wickedness that's being committed or on this side, in this kingdom, right? It's all gonna fade away. It's not gonna last. They talk about how um, a lot of these famous people, they so-called get immortalized through their recognition. Even though they pass away, they still being talked about, like Michael Jackson, all these famous top people, right? But none of that is going to be recorded, um, uh, or the greatness of America is not going to be recorded in the kingdom of heaven, man. This place is always going to be remembered for a wicked ass kingdom that got what it deserved, right? Is that guy on the internet, however much you fuck around is the same. Uh, it's the same measurement of how much you're going to find out. That's what the scripture says. Reward unto her double, right? For the double rebellion, you're going to be rewarded double, man, right? But let's see, right, and that's going to be through the ICBM missiles, right? Because it says, "And the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burned up." Verse 11, seeing then that these, Salakia, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness, right? So if we understand and we believe that these things are going to come to pass on the planet Earth and happen to America, um, you pretty much got to change your way, man. You got to operate in a different fashion. You can't continue in the ways of this world, right? You got to start seeking for that defense, seeking for that shelter, right? The scriptures go into the prudent foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, right? So if you don't want to be taken in this evil that's coming, what are you going to do? You're going to try to hide yourself. You're going to try to seek shelter. A lot of people, they're building doomsday bunkers. They're doing all that shit. But we understand that none of that is going to help. Our defense is going to come, is going to rest in the Lord, right? Which is the only way. That's it. There is no, as our apostles and elders always say, there is no plan B. There is no other form of escape. This is the only escape, the truth, being delivered up in the chariot, right? Um, and that comes with you changing your conduct, changing your mindset, right? Not being conformed to this world, right? But be transformed through the renewing of your mind, you know. Verse 12, it says, looking for and hastening unto the day, unto the coming of the day of the Lord, right? So we're hastening the time when the Lord is going to come. Meaning we want it to happen so badly, right? I mean, Jake one's out now, man. I mean, I could tell you, me for myself, man, I'm ready. I want the kingdom of heaven now, right? But we understand there's a certain course of time that has to happen, and certain things and prophecy that have to take place in order for the kingdom of heaven to come, for our Lord Yahweh to return. But it says, nevertheless, we according to his promise look for a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Right? And again, just wrapping this up, that's pretty much what the Lord is doing through the building of the tabernacle of David, right? So it's not only evil that's happening on the planet Earth, it's also some good, even though that good is being hidden, or is kind of sort of made secret only for the believers to see, right? But best believe the Lord is doing a great work here in these last days. But before I end it, let me get this. This is Isaiah 59:19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, right? Meaning Esau comes in, is gonna come in like a flood, is gonna come in like at every angle. Right? He's gonna come in with his killer drones, killer robots, killer dogs, super soldiers, you name it. Them satellite weapons with the laser beams, what they call noob weapons, right? And all the secret other shit that they have locked up somewhere that they're going to release in these last days, right? But it says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. So the Most High is going to raise up men with spiritual power, and even the angels is going to come down. And Daniel, the 12th chapter, it talks about the archangel Michael coming down, right, defending Israel, right. By Israel, I mean the Israel of Israel, right? But or the Israel of the Lord is what I should say, right? Um, but yeah, that was pretty much the point, man, right? So through the tabernacle of David being built up, right, is how, um, well, the fact that the tabernacle of David is being built up is showing you that a new, um, I was gonna say regime, but I guess you could say regime, but a new order is about to be instituted on the planet Earth, right? Like I said, you see all these evils happening. Well, you know, um, the Most High is also countering it with the good, that we're about to see here soon, right? But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and close it off with that. I pray the lesson was edifying. I'm gonna close it off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Rachah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and grew well. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, pushing His word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Until the next time, I'm gonna say Shalom and Kwam Yasha Allah.